Y'all, can you hear that? How crunchy it is? Today I'm sharing one of my family's all-time favorite recipes, gluten-free sweet potato casserole. This is such an easy sweet potato side dish to make, or you can even serve it as dessert. And I've been making it since before my kids were born, which was over 28 years ago. So let's get into it and I'll show you how to make it. The first thing we have to do is mash sweet potatoes. And this is 3 cups of sweet potatoes. Whatever way you want to do it to get them to this point is totally your choice. I like to bake mine whole at 400 degrees Fahrenheit on a foil-lined baking sheet. And I prick them with a fork all over. And I bake them for about an hour, give or take, until they're soft. And it really will depend on their size. The skins will peel right off. You can also peel them, cut them in chunks, and boil them, but I find that too tedious and too time consuming, and it creates too many dishes, and y'all know about me and dishes, we just don't get along. So I'm adding 1 cup or 200 grams of sugar, and I'll just whisk this together really quick. There is an unapologetically large amount of sugar in this dish, but I got this recipe years ago from a very southern older woman who did not give a hoot about how much sugar was in it at the time. But you're not going to be eating this entire thing yourself, or at least I hope you won't. And what's one day, right? You can go back to your diet the day after Thanksgiving. So now I'm going to add 2 eggs, one at a time, and I'll whisk those in individually. This was originally done with a mixer, but a whisk will do just fine. So you're doing it 1 bowl. It's so simple. Okay, I'm just going to add in about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then this is 60 grams or a 1/4 cup of milk. You can also make this dairy-free or even vegan. I'll tell you about that in a second. And I'll also add a pinch or 2 of salt. And then finally, this is 1/4 cup or 57 grams of melted butter, and we'll just whisk this all together. My daughter is vegan, and I made this for her last year, and she absolutely loved it. I replaced the eggs with applesauce and the butter and milk with non-dairy butter and milk. And then I got vegan marshmallows from either Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. It depends on where you can find them each year around this time. Okay, I'm just going to dump this into a greased 9 by 13 inch baking pan. Actually, this one, I think it's a little smaller than a 9 by 13, but it's deeper, but any size really will work. I'll just spread this out evenly and I'll set it aside for a minute while I make the streusel. To make the streusel, I've already got a 1/2 cup or 70 grams of Kim's gluten-free all-purpose flour blend in this small bowl. And I'm adding to that 1 cup or 200 grams of brown sugar and 3 tablespoons or 42 grams of softened butter. And naturally, I picked a bowl too small. So I'll try to be careful when I'm mixing this. I like to use a fork at first and then get in there with my hand and make sure everything is well combined. This isn't actually a crunchy streusel. It won't end up crunchy. It gets more like a gooey, like, I don't know, melty, brown sugary yumminess. That's the only way I can explain it. It's really, really good, y'all. Okay, I'll just sprinkle this all over the sweet potato mixture. And at this point, you can actually cover this and refrigerate it for a few days if you want to make it ahead. And you can also freeze it too. The instructions are in the written recipe on the blog. You just need to leave the marshmallows off until you're ready to bake it. And speaking of marshmallows, what is arguably the best part of any sweet potato dish, the marshmallows. And I like to arrange these in neat little rows on top. You don't have to, you can just scatter them about. So we'll bake this for 30 to 35 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit or until the marshmallows are nice and deeply toasted, just like this. How good does this look? I mean, come on. I know it's a lot of sugar. Serve it as a dessert if you'd rather. But you really should try it at least once. You won't be sorry. The sweet potatoes themselves are fluffy and soft, And those marshmallows offer not only the crunch it needs, but also a slightly melty gooiness that just can't be beat. So good, y'all. Enjoy.